it is unethical and highly problematic to distribute broadly in any country, particularly a developing country in Africa, an experimental vaccine without proof of efficacy and proof of a lack of harm. That's a vaccine, and sometimes people confuse a vaccine with a therapy. You're not giving experimental therapy to a sick person. You're giving vaccine to a healthy population. And that's what I think is something that really needs to be very seriously considered. So,
what is the question? What are they trying to find out? And then in terms of the question, that determines what kind of study design, what factors do we look at? Do we need to look at genetic factors? Do we need to look more at social factors? Do we need to have a more integrative model? It's fine just to look at a genetic factor that might predispose people in a population to a particular outcome, but how we write that project and how we talk about it and how we publish it when we find that this genetic variant is more common in this group than another group, what does that even mean?
Sort of the whole concept of big data is to reduce the individual to a couple of data points in the set. So it's a remarkable space, the bioethics space, from which to actually start talking about evolving our contemporary understanding of privacy and confidentiality into one that is actually human-centered, as opposed to one that is scale-centered or algorithm-centered. It's a remarkable opportunity, because I don't know any other space that even has the capacity to make that be the argument.
So in the end, I think the important parts of our responsibility is to counsel our patients fairly about what's good and what's not good about the option of compassionate use, to do it dispassionately. I mean, empathetically, but take the emotion, the 3 children of my patient that I'd gotten close to, taking that piece out and really focusing on the details, the process, and making sure that if you're going to turn a patient down, that you're clear about it with them, and that you acknowledge that this means that we might be moving towards a palliative path. And I think sometimes the inability to acknowledge that really takes away from a patient being able to come to peace with what the choice is and what direction you're moving together as a team.
Like, privacy norms are changing, but privacy is not dead. Maybe these privacy norms are different. Maybe our privacy interests are a little bit different. And how are we going to apply that in the human subjects arena? There are both ethical and regulatory implications of changing norms of privacy. Regulatory because the common rule relies on the concept of private, as I indicated first in assessing whether secondary research use of information is actually involving human subjects research. Also when considering whether research presents no more than minimal risk to subjects. IRBs routinely consider the potential privacy risks to subjects from the research in making that determination. So the privacy is not just an ethical consideration, it is also a regulatory consideration.
And I think, very importantly, it may offer help for patients with no other available options. And I think over the years, I've come to realize that this is a very valuable aspect of expanded access, because the opposite of the hope is the lack of hope or hopelessness. And I don't know how you can put a value judgment on the hope aspect.
We have an obligation both to make data available for research use, the purpose of collecting it, but to protect the confidentiality and respect the privacy of the respondents. And in the area of data access and confidentiality protection, this means you cannot promise 100% protection. It's just not possible, and in fact, I don't think many people out there, if they think about it, would really expect it.
Thus, Primer believes that the pursuit of knowledge always shares the stage with the opportunity to protect, improve, and enrich lives. That human subjects are vital contributions to the research enterprise who must be protected and respected before, during, and after the research cycle.